The life of Patty Duke, a legendary personality in the entertainment industry, was bathed in the radiant light of celebrity. Although she received praise and appreciation for her outstanding acting skills, many were curious about her private life, especially her son Sean's biological father. The enigma of Sean's family tree not only captivated tabloids, but also molded stories and connections during a time when public interest and media obsession often transcended personal limits.
My mom was a warrior in the grand tradition of the bravest, strongest warriors from ancient Greco-Roman history. When it was over, she was in great pain before it started, and at the end, she was in peace. She was at peace.
In this video, we follow Sean as he navigates the turbulent waters of discovering the truth, following the complex chain of events that culminates with the identification of his biological father. Sean Astin was born into the glittering world of Hollywood, where he spent his childhood in the spotlight as the son of the legendary actress Patty Duke. His mother had won an Oscar for acting, so he looked destined for a career in Hollywood. The glare of the cameras and the whispers of an interested audience were nothing new to Sean. Possessing such a history may bring him unmatched opportunity, but also immense pressure to live up to lofty standards. Sean started his career in Hollywood at a young age. Being from a famous family made it a little easier for him to get auditions, and he quickly landed jobs that would launch his career. Among them was his iconic turn in the cult movie The Goonies, which further established him as an up-and-coming actor to keep an eye on. Sean gained famous after his acclaimed portrayal as the movie's passionate and daring protagonist, Mikey Walsh. On the other hand, being a young actor in Hollywood isn't always a picnic. Roles like those in The Goonies brought in premature stardom, which had both positive and negative aspects. Sean experienced the best and worst of early stardom, the love of fans and the friendship of other performers, and the relentless scrutiny that comes with it. Criticism was leveled at every move and decision, and it was often harsh. Being a public figure as a child meant that the tabloids avidly gobbled any and every blunders and adolescent blunders. The prominence of his mother, Patty Duke, was an important part of this spotlight, and the one that impacted him the most. Patty had already achieved legendary status in the entertainment world when Sean arrived to make his impact on Hollywood. Her ascent to popularity was rapid. Her mesmerizing performances had captured audiences from her teenage years. However, there were obstacles along Patty's path. Her life, like the lives of many others with extraordinary abilities, was characterized by both extraordinary achievement and personal tragedy. People all throughout the globe were staring, sometimes in awe and occasionally critical. Sean had a complicated web to weave through as a child due to his mother's fame. Both her brilliance and the negative aspects of her public persona were passed on to him. There were several points when their personal and professional lives intersected. Even while Sean's career took off because to Patty's success, he was also the object of continual comparisons and evaluations. He found great pride in the heritage, but he also found it difficult to separate himself from it. The difficulties extended beyond the realm of work. The media found entertainment in Patty Duke's troubled private life, particularly the unsolved question of Sean's paternity. The media's incessant curiosity and widespread conjecture kept Sean's private life, down to the most intimate details, in the public eye at all times. This extra degree of public attention compounded the difficulty for a youngster attempting to comprehend complicated relationships. While Sean Astin's early days in Hollywood were filled with achievements, they were also shaped by the difficulties of being a famous child. Along the way, he had to figure out who he was in the face of all the pressures of stardom, high expectations, and relentless media attention. A captivating story of romance, struggle, and discovery unfolded throughout Patty Duke's life, whether it was on film or off. Her romantic relationships were a rich tapestry of love, turmoil, and intrigue. Understanding her path requires delving into each one. Not only did these connections impact her life, but they also set the stage for the events surrounding her son's paternity. Michael Tell started it all. Their brief 13-day marriage made news in tabloids. Given the brevity of the connection, It is surprising that it had such a lasting impact, especially when Sean's paternity was called into doubt. Rumors swirled for years about their brief marriage and when Sean was born, both of which set the record straight. Michael was overshadowed by a romance with the handsome Desi Arnaz Jr. in Patty's eventful life. His relationship with Patty represented the coming together of two influential entertainment dynasties. He was the son of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, two of Hollywood's most famous actors. Their romance was passionate and full of the fire that comes from a new love. This was a pivotal yet brief period in Patty's life. Still, it made an everlasting impression, as do all relationships, no matter how short. Unavoidably, Desi Jr.'s name was brought up whenever questions over Sean's paternity emerged. A lot of people wondered whether he was the missing link because of how their lives intersected at that exact moment. The timing, the emotion, and the juxtaposition. John Astin's connection with Patty, nevertheless, was the most important and long-lasting of any of her partnerships. Despite Patty's turbulent romantic history, their marriage seemed to provide stability. Actor John, well known for his portrayal of Gomez Addams on The Addams Family, provided Patty with the stability she sorely needed in her relationship. Their relationship had its ups and downs, but even after they broke up, their connection remained strong. The already complicated story of Sean's family tree would become even more complicated when John would adopt him. The complex web of Patty's ties entangled the paternity issue around Sean, making it everything but a simple biological story. A fresh layer and potential outcome were introduced to the plot with each new partnership. Speculation, argument, and judgment raged on for years. Because of when they were married, was it Michael? Would you have guessed Desi Jr., the youthful, ardent love? John, Sean's constant companion and surrogate father, could have been the other one. Despite her turbulent personal life and impressive acting career, Patty Duke is one of the most fascinating people in Hollywood history, because to her numerous loves. Over the course of her multi-decade career, Patty's personal life, particularly her relationships, often overshadowed her filmic accomplishments. Every relationship had its ups and downs, but one in particular left us with a question that would linger for years. Her short 13-day marriage to Michael Tell was the first major chapter in Patty's love story. To the untrained eye, it seemed like just another incident in the vast tapestry of her life. Still, talks about what happened after their short marriage centered on Sean's biological father. They were married at the same time that Sean was born, which led many to question if Michael was really Sean's biological father. However, Patty's marriage to John Astin was the most notable of her partnerships. John, with his mysterious charisma and deep-set eyes, became famous for his role as Gomez Addams in The Addams Family. The two seemed to have discovered a haven of peace and understanding in the chaos of Hollywood, becoming closer as a pair. John adopted Sean, further establishing himself in the story of the boys' family, as their friendship deepened over time. The biological investigation into Sean's paternity was only the beginning. Patty's connections further compounded an already very personal and emotionally charged situation. The narrative became more intriguing with each guy that was a part of her life. The audience, insatiably seeking Hollywood stories, clung on every scrap of information, clue, and suggestion. Going beyond the tabloid headlines and talk show conversations, Sean's problem was figuring out who he was and where he came from in the context of his mother's turbulent relationships. Years later, when genetic testing finally proved Michael Tell to be Sean's biological father, the news prompted equal parts relief and self-reflection. However, at that point, a complex web of stories, rumors, and assumptions had been spun, creating a narrative that revolved around a young man's search for truth and also revolved around Hollywood's fixation with the private lives of famous people. Ultimately, Patty Duke's romantic life reflected her path as a woman who loved profoundly, endured tragedy, and sought significance in the chaos. Despite the challenges, her connections molded her life and enriched her son's story of coming of age. This was going to be a once-in-a-lifetime tale of romance, mystery, and revelation. In a world where scientific knowledge is becoming more and more important, DNA testing has become a guiding light in the dark. This lighthouse became the center of attention for Sean Astin and his family, as they sought to unravel a profoundly private mystery: the identity of Sean's biological father. It was both surprising and illuminating to see Michael Tell pop up as a potential player in this story. At first glance, Patty Duke's 13-day marriage to Michael Tell seemed to be a transient event in her life. However, Michael's name continued to surface in the discussion around Sean's paternity as rumors and conjecture intensified over time. The concept of a DNA test started to take form among the clamor of public interest and individual searches for identification. For years, it has cast a shadow over the Astin family, casting doubt on their ability to find closure. Going through with such a test wasn't an easy choice. Sean was faced with the prospect of piecing together a narrative he had been familiar with his whole life. It might lead to a reevaluation of family relationships and a voyage into emotional, uncharted territory. On the other side, Patty had to deal with revisiting painful memories, reevaluating her relationships, and accepting that the outcomes may affect her kid. Upon final delivery, the effects were absolutely astounding. It was established that Michael Tell is the biological father of Sean Astin. The news rocked the Astin family and everyone around them. It was a surprising turn of events that left many people gasping for air. A combination of shock, empathy, and excitement characterized the public's reaction after they had eagerly followed the story. Patty showed a range of emotions when confronted with the tangible confirmation of an old connection. It was a relief to finally get some answers, but it was also a sobering look back at the years past, the decisions made, and the roads traveled. The findings confirmed a biological link for Michael, paving the way for a long-hidden connection. The most significant response came from Sean. The years of emotional connection, affection, and experiences he had with John Astin cannot be erased, even if the DNA findings change the biological story. The disclosures didn't take away from John's significance in his life. Rather, they enriched his multifaceted sense of self. The Astin family's DNA drama was more than just a narrative. It demonstrated the complexities of human connections. It drove home the point that scientific inquiry may yield results, but that the human spirit, with all its relationships and allegiances, often crafts its own narrative. This was an adventure of understanding, acceptance, and discovery for Sean, Patty, Michael, and John. It showed everyone that the facts of life are sometimes more complex than they seem. The weight of a hidden battle weighed on Patty Duke, a symbol of genius in Hollywood. She managed the ebb and flow of manic episodes and depression that came with her bipolar illness diagnosis. This inner conflict added another degree of complexity to her already complicated existence, providing the background against which many of her choices were made. In Patty's personal and professional life, the ebb and flow of energy and mood fluctuations caused by bipolar disease often impacted her choices. During her manic episodes, she would become deeply immersed in a number of tasks at once, or make hasty judgments. On the flip side, she retreated from the spotlight and struggled with severe sadness during her depression episodes, when the burden of the world was insurmountable. These fluctuations didn't only impact the lady whose life was always under the spotlight, they also sparked extensive conjecture and criticism. But Patty, who never gave up, refused to let her problems get the best of her. She broke away from the taboo that frequently surrounds conversations about mental health, particularly in the high-pressure world of entertainment, by using her position and expertise to become a champion for mental health concerns. Her struggles with bipolar illness were something she spoke about freely. She did this to give people a glimpse into her life with the disease and to reassure them that they were not alone in the challenges they faced. Her autobiography, Call Me Anna, was a game-changer because it revealed her diagnosis, the difficulties she had as a result of it, and her path to coping with it. Patty hoped that by telling her experience, she may put an end to stigma, encourage open dialogue about mental health, and ultimately lead to more effective treatment. Nobody should have to deal with mental health issues alone or in silence, in her opinion. As she grew older, Patty's activism went beyond just telling her experience. She was an outspoken supporter of mental health awareness initiatives, both in her own life and via the groups she was a member of. And she never stopped stressing the need of getting assistance and spreading awareness within communities. Her selfless actions propelled her to stardom in Hollywood and beyond, serving as an inspiration to those fighting mental illness. A road of perseverance was Patty Duke's, despite the incessant onslaught of obstacles. She wanted more than just a personal release when she decided to talk about her problems in public. Nonetheless, it was a step that allowed for more widespread discussions about mental health in society. Through it all, she was a living embodiment of the strength that comes from being vulnerable and the impact that activism can have. Not only are her film accomplishments a lasting testament to her talent, but her unwavering determination has helped many others find solace in the face of adversity. The lives of John Astin, Desi Arnaz Jr., and Michael Tell intersected significantly with Sean Astin's, offering him crucial guidance and support. John Astin, best known for his role as Gomez Addams, stepped into the role of Sean's father figure, providing stability and teaching him the discipline required for success in acting. Despite Desi Arnaz Jr.'s intermittent presence due to his own fame, he shared insights with Sean about navigating Hollywood's challenges as the son of legendary parents. Together, these three men provided Sean with diverse perspectives and invaluable life lessons. Despite the media's relentless scrutiny of Patty Duke and Sean, they persevered, demonstrating resilience in the face of public attention and remaining steadfast in their understanding of love, family, and self. Patty Duke and her son Sean Astin epitomized the enduring strength of motherly love amidst the tumult of Hollywood. Their unbreakable bond weathered the complexities of familial dynamics and career challenges. Patty's unwavering devotion provided Sean with a solid foundation, guiding him through the uncertainties of growing up with multiple father figures. She supported his journey in Hollywood and in life, fostering his confidence to pursue his dreams. Patty's mature approach to the important men in Sean's life reflected her deep love for him, ensuring he felt secure in his relationships. Their story underscores the transformative power of love, resilience in the face of adversity, and the significance of familial ties. With the final curtain call on their epic tale, their impact will live on as an enduring testament to the power of love to overcome adversity and provide a path to better days ahead.